Welcome to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruising. I've got a strategy that was sent over by Ryan. It's called Big Black Columns. So Ryan sent me a strategy. It's called Big Black Columns. He had seen it over on the CEG Dealer School YouTube channel. And it's been about a year ago I saw it on there as well. But Ryan wanted me to run it through, just kind of see how it does and show you guys. But I want to go ahead. They did a $200 buy-in for their strategy. I'm only going to do $100 because it's a $10 bet and we're going to buy in for $100. We're going to have 10 bullets to work with. So remember, cash on the table, your CPass card, they'll scan it, give it back to you. That's how you get your points on the cruise. So we're going to be playing with red chips here. So red chips are $5 a piece. This allows us to bet 10 times, so which means we have 10 bullets to work with. All right, so the way the strategy goes is you start the strategy at step 1 is the bet big. All right, if that wins, you double your money. Now you put $10 on the big, $10 on black. If those both win, then you take these 2 wins here on the 2 columns closest to you, because the first 2 columns have the most black numbers. So of course you're wanting the big black column to hit. So it's a 3-step process here. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to start it out, $10 on the big. And I'm not even going to count my, well, I'm going to count my spins. Let me count my spins, just as kind of for reference. But my intention to just go through this stack, and if we win, I want to stack my profits separate, and we're going to just see if we can get more than $100 out of it. Okay? All right, 0. Off to a fantastic start. All right, there we go. All right, 12. Another loss. And I have found that this is probably the hardest step just to get out of this. Get from step 1 to step 2. Once you get to step 3, it gets a little better actually. But this first step's the toughest one. 8. Lost again. 34. There we go. Finally got a win. All right, so that's 1 to 1 right there. So we're going to take $10 big, $10 black. Let's see what happens. $0. All right, back to step 1. Okay, 31. All right, win there. Step 2, big and black. All right, 33. There we go. We're off to a roll here. All right, we won both of those. Now we're going to add these 2 columns. The reason for the 2 columns is because that has the most black numbers on the board. All right, 20. There we go. We won all of them. Of course, we lose 1 column. That pays 2 to 1. We won the big and we won the black. Now we're going to collect all those. So we started with a $10 bet. And that's a $60 profit for 1 cycle. So we're going to bring $70 back to our profit stack here. And we're going to start over. That's step 1. Okay, 32. All right, there's a win there. Big and black. All right, 4. Okay, so we lost the big, but we won on the black. Now we're just going to rebet step 2. Okay, 6, lost the big, 1 on the black again. All right, 22. So win on the black, win on the big. There we go. Big black columns. And 29. There we go. Got it again. So win there on that column. Win the big. Win on black. Stack it all up. Bring it back to our profit stack here. There we go. Back to step 1. Okay, 22. So win on the big. All right, step 2. All right, 12. All right, we lost that. All right, step 1. All right, 18. Lost the big. 18, lost the big again. All right, there's our last bullet here. We're on spin number 28. Oh no, not 28, 18. All right, we hit 10. All right, we lost that. All right, let's see what we got here. So we know that was $70 each stack. All right, so we bought in for $100. We had 10 bullets to run the big black column strategy that Ryan sent over. We cashed out with $140, and we went 18 spins with it. You know, it's just a fun strategy to kind of just, if you got $100 and want to just kind of sit out and sit down and hang out with a buddy or something like that. You know, you could run it, you know, big, and he could run it small. Okay, could be a couples system, I guess you could say. But then, you know, this person here would bet, you know, small and red. This one would bet big and black. And then as far as this one's columns, you would need to bet the first column and the third column. Okay, because there's more reds on the third column than, of course, in the middle. So if you run it low, you know, small and red, you know, then you would kind of switch it up and bet 1 and 3 on your columns there. So anyway, just kind of a way to kind of change it up. And if you wanted to sit down and run this with a buddy, that's kind of what this strategy would be. You know, so it's not going to be anything that I would really sit down expecting a whole lot out of it, other than just killing some time and having a little fun with it. You know, close to 20 spins. I'd probably kill 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so sitting at the table just hanging out. But that's the big black column strategy that Ryan sent over. And as far as comp value rating, I wouldn't give this one any comp value, to be honest, because you start with $10. Now maybe they might come over when you have $20 on the table, or you have $40 on the table. So comp value, I'm just going to give it a 1. As far as profitability goes, we did make profit with the strategy, but it's not guaranteed. Okay, so I wouldn't play this expecting to make profit with it. So as far as profitability goes, I'm going to give it a 2. There is a chance, but slim. And then as far as ease of setup goes, I'm going to have to give it a 4. It's pretty easy to set up. $10 on, you know, big or small, whatever you want to play. And then knowing where to put the next bet and the next bet. So it's pretty simple to figure out. So anyway, so there you have it. The big black column strategy that Ryan sent me over. He saw it over on the CEG Dealer School YouTube channel. And if you have a strategy you want me to run out, email it to me at roulettecruising@gmail.com. I try to go 30 spins with them usually. You give me a buy-in of somewhere between $300 to $400, and we'll just see how it does. But until next time, happy cruising. We'll see y'all. Bye.